the creature that refuses to die. Imagine a creature so tough that boiling water cannot kill it. Freezing temperatures colder than outer space cannot destroy it. Radiation that would instantly kill a human barely affects it. It can survive in the vacuum of space. It can live without food or water for decades. And the most shocking part, you could find this creature almost anywhere on Earth, in moss, soil, or even on the roof of your house. Meet the tardigrade, also known as the water bear, one of the most resilient life forms ever discovered. Scientists often call it the most indestructible creature on Earth. But what exactly is this tiny organism? How can something so small survive conditions that would wipe out nearly all other life? And could these microscopic survivors actually hold the secret to human survival in space? Today, we explore the astonishing world of tardigrades, the tiny creature that refuses to die. What is a tardigrade? At first glance, a tardigrade may look a little strange, almost like a tiny, wrinkled bear. In fact, that's exactly how it got its nickname, the water bear. The word tardigrade comes from Latin and means slow walker. And when scientists observe them under a microscope, the name makes perfect sense. These tiny animals move slowly, crawling with their 8 stubby legs like miniature bears exploring a forest. But don't let their cute appearance fool you. Tardigrades are one of the toughest organisms ever discovered. They are incredibly small, usually only about 0.5 millimeters long. That means you could fit several tardigrades on the tip of a needle. Because of their tiny size, you cannot see them with the naked eye. You need a microscope to observe them. Yet despite their microscopic size, tardigrades have surprisingly complex bodies. They have 8 legs, tiny claws on each foot, a mouth with sharp structures used to pierce plant cells, a digestive system, muscles and nerves. Scientists classify them as microanimals, meaning they are tiny but still highly organized organisms. And what makes them truly fascinating is where they live. Tardigrades can be found almost everywhere on Earth. You can find them in moss, lichens, soil, freshwater ponds, deep ocean sediments, Antarctic ice, mountain environments. In fact, if you collect a small patch of moss and examine it under a microscope, there's a good chance you might discover a tardigrade crawling inside. But their real fame comes not from where they live, but from how they survive. The most extreme survivor, the greatest ability of tardigrades, is something scientists call cryptobiosis. Cryptobiosis is a survival state where the organism almost completely shuts down its life processes. When a tardigrade experiences extreme stress, such as lack of water, extreme heat, freezing temperatures, or radiation, it transforms its body into a tiny dried structure called a ton. During this state, the tardigrade shrinks, its legs retract, its metabolism nearly stops, its body loses almost all water. In fact, scientists estimate that a tardigrade in this state can reduce its metabolism to less than 0.01% of normal activity. At that point, the creature is not exactly alive, but it's not dead either. It's essentially paused, like a biological time capsule. And in this suspended state, tardigrades can survive conditions that would destroy almost any other life form. For example, they can survive extreme dehydration, losing up to 97% of their body water. They can survive temperatures above 150 degrees Celsius. They can endure freezing conditions close to absolute zero. They can tolerate enormous pressure, even stronger than the pressure found at the deepest parts of the ocean. And perhaps most astonishing of all, they can survive the vacuum of space. When water becomes available again, the tardigrade slowly absorbs moisture. Its body expands, its metabolism restarts. When water becomes available again, the tardigrade slowly absorbs moisture. Its body expands, its metabolism restarts, and within hours, the creature comes back to life. It simply continues walking around as if nothing happened. Some experiments have shown tardigrades surviving decades in this suspended state. Imagine falling asleep today and waking up 30 years later. For tardigrades, that's not science fiction. That's reality. Surviving space. In 2007, scientists conducted one of the most incredible experiments ever performed on tardigrades. Researchers sent these microscopic creatures into outer space. The goal was simple. Could tardigrades survive the extreme conditions of space? Space is one of the most hostile environments imaginable. There is no oxygen, extreme radiation, near vacuum pressure, extreme temperature swings. Most organisms would die instantly, but the results shocked scientists. Many tardigrades survived the experiment. After returning to Earth, Some of them even continued living normally and reproduced successfully. This discovery made headlines around the world because it meant something extraordinary. Tardigrades may be among the only animals capable of surviving direct exposure to space. But how do they do it? Scientists discovered that tardigrades possess special proteins that protect their DNA from damage. One of these proteins, known as DSUP, literally shields their genetic material from radiation. This protein acts almost like a biological armor. It prevents radiation from breaking apart the DNA molecules that contain the instructions for life. And when damage does occur, tardigrades have incredibly efficient DNA repair systems that quickly fix the problem. These discoveries have sparked exciting new research. Some scientists believe tardigrade genetics could one day help protect astronauts from radiation, improve human cell survival in extreme environments, develop new medical treatments. In other words, this tiny creature might help humans explore deep space. How long can they live? One of the most fascinating questions about tardigrades is their lifespan. Under normal conditions, most tardigrades live for several months to a few years. But their ability to enter cryptobiosis changes everything. Because when a tardigrade enters its suspended state, time almost stops for the organism. It's like pausing a video. When the environment becomes favorable again, the tardigrade simply resumes life from where it stopped. This means their effective lifespan could be far longer than normal. Scientists have revived tardigrades after decades of dormancy. Some frozen specimens have even been revived after more than 30 years. That means these creatures can survive environmental disasters that wipe out other species. Droughts, freezing winters, extreme radiation events, even asteroid impacts. As long as a tardigrade is in its protective ton state, it can wait patiently for conditions to improve, which raises a fascinating question. If a global catastrophe wiped out most life on Earth, could tardigrades survive? Many scientists believe the answer is yes. Nothing can kill this creature, are often called not even the toughest animals on Earth. But that doesn't mean they are completely invincible. If they are active and not in cryptobiosis, they can still be harmed by predators or environmental changes. However, when they enter their survival state, their resilience becomes almost unbelievable. Studies show tardigrades can survive radiation doses hundreds of times stronger than lethal human exposure, pressure 6 times stronger than ocean trenches, extreme dehydration, temperatures from minus 272 degrees C to over 150 degrees Celsius. Few other organisms can survive even one of these conditions. Tardigrades can survive all of them. This incredible resilience has fascinated scientists for decades. But perhaps the most important lesson from tardigrades is not just their toughness. It's their ability to adapt and endure. The superhero of microscopic life, the tardigrade may be invisible to the naked eye, but its abilities are nothing short of extraordinary. This tiny creature can survive boiling heat, freezing cold, radiation, dehydration, crushing pressure, and even the vacuum of space. It can pause its life for decades, and then wake up again as if nothing happened. In many ways, tardigrades represent one of nature's greatest survival stories. They remind us that life is far more resilient than we once believed. And who knows, the secrets hidden inside these microscopic survivors might one day help humanity survive in environments far beyond Earth. From the deepest oceans to the cold emptiness of space, the humble water bear continues to amaze scientists and challenge our understanding of life itself. So next time you walk past a patch of moss or a drop of water in a pond, remember this. You might be standing right next to one of the toughest creatures ever to exist. A microscopic survivor, a biological marvel, the tiny animal that refuses to die. The tardigrade.